Hi everyone, this is Miss Bothwell, and in today's video lesson you are going to learn about adjective clauses. By the end of this video, you will be able to identify, use, and understand the function of adjective clauses and relative pronouns. You will also be able to correctly use commas in regards to adjective clauses. So let's get started. An adjective clause is used to describe or modify a noun or a pronoun. An adjective clause will begin with a relative pronoun. Those are words such as who, whose, which, whom, that. You only use a comma with the adjective clause if the adjective clause is optional. Meaning, if the sentence makes sense without the adjective clause, then you are going to use a comma or commas depending on the location of the adjective clause. So first, let's look at some examples of identifying adjective clauses. Okay, so in the first example, it says, the woman who is wearing a red dress is my piano teacher. So to find your adjective clause, the first thing you should do is locate the relative pronoun, because our adjective clause begins with the relative pronoun. And my relative pronoun is who. So my adjective clause will be who is wearing the red dress. Now that is my adjective clause, and it is describing, or it modifies, or it's talking about the woman. Okay, so the next sentence, basketball, which is my favorite sport, have been played by some of the greatest athletes of all time. So in order to find my adjective clause, I'm first going to locate the relative pronoun, because I know that my adjective clause always begins with the relative pronoun. So which is my relative pronoun, and my adjective clause will be which is my favorite sport, and that is modifying or describing basketball. The next sentence, the boating show that is held at the NRG Stadium is going to be awesome. So again, I am going to find my relative pronoun first, which is the word that, and my adjective clause is that is held at the NRG Stadium. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at a few more examples and also talk about the usage of commas. So here I have my example that says, the ostrich, which is the largest of all birds, can outrun a horse. Okay, so I'm going to find my relative pronoun, which is the word which, and my adjective clause is which is the largest of all birds. Now, to see if I need a comma, I am going to read the sentence without inserting the adjective clause. So the ostrich can outrun a horse. Now, since that makes sense, I can still say the ostrich can outrun a horse, and I don't necessarily need the adjective clause. Therefore, I am going to use commas. So commas are needed because the adjective clause is extra information that is not needed in order for the sentence to make sense. Okay, let's look at the next example. The Carters, whose dog I walk, will be away for 3 weeks. So again, I'm going to locate my relative pronoun, which is the word whose, and my adjective clause is whose dog I walk, and that is giving me a little bit more information about the Carters. So my adjective clause is modifying the Carters. And for this sentence, I am also going to use commas, because I can say the Carters will be away for 3 weeks. So my adjective clause is not needed in order for my sentence to make sense. So therefore, I will place commas around my adjective clause. Okay, and finally, let's look at the last example. The lions that are raised in captivity are surprisingly tame. So my relative pronoun is that, and my adjective clause is that are raised in captivity, and that is giving more information about lions. And in this example, I will not use commas because I need that adjective clause in order to help the sentence make sense.